Hello, welcome to My Life on Paper, where I use paper and photos to tell my story. And welcome to Stick It Down, where I'm on the design team. And here is our sketch. This is our double page sketch for this month. So every month, the Stick It Down team has not only a double page layout sketch, but also a single page layout sketch as well as a card sketch. And I will have the Facebook group linked below. And if you can make a layout of that sketch, put it in the album, and then you could be considered for a guest designer next month. Um, these are pictures of my oldest Jillian and her fiance Nick, and they were in Florida for a trip. And I am using this beautiful Vicky Bouton paper and embellishments. You can see in the sketch, it's got that fringed bottom going along, and I just thought not only one was this perfect for these Florida photos, but two, I get to use my fringe scissors, which I've had for a while and never really used. So that's super fun. So I'm going to trim this photo down. It is a 5x7. I'm going to trim it down to 5x5, and all the important pieces get left in the picture. I do actually trim some of Jillian's forehead a little bit down, but that's okay. You know that she still has a forehead. And then I've already cut that picture on the left. It's of like the histories of M&Ms. So that picture on the left was a 5x7 picture, and I used my Cricut and the Snap Mat feature to make it into a circle, and it's a 4.5-inch circle. Then I trimmed down, you just saw me trim down the photo that was 4x6 to about 4x4, and this 4x3 photo is going to get trimmed to a 3x3 photo. So I will get that all figured out, and then I'm going to take my Creative Memories corner rounder and round all the corners. And I like to do that especially when like I have that circular element on the page. So with the other photo being circle, I do like to round those corners. I went into my Cricut and I made this lovely frame, which is similar to the sketch. And then I'm gonna tear the paper on this side to get it just a little bit bigger than the circle. And I could have went a little bit bigger with this piece of paper, but I just kind of eyeballing it up and it works out fine. So um, I try not to fuss too much. I do like to get my pictures in albums. So if there is a quicker way of doing something, I'm certainly going to do it. I don't often use a ruler, but I do like to use that grid mat that you see behind um, that my papers are laying on, as well as there's that grid ruler up above. It's a Fiskars grid ruler. Sometimes I'll use that and it's not so fussy. It's just like you can lay it down and get things lined up. All right, this is where I'm going to take this green paper that matches those palm leaves, and I'm going to cut off um, a bit of paper to use my fringe scissors on, and I think it was 3.5 inches, and I just kind of eyed it up. I didn't really, again, I'm not fussy. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. My first cut is a little bit short. I don't think you're going to notice that at all. And so then the second one went better, and I just kind of keep going along. And sometimes you'll see me even hold it down with two hands, but it worked really well. And I'm skipping just a little bit in between each time I go down with the scissors, so it gives an extra little piece of fringe um, to make it all even out, if that makes sense. I didn't want to try to line it up super, in an overlap or anything. I just kept kind of eyeballing it up and just kept going. So I go along this, and this is embossed paper actually. It's a cardstock with the polka dots embossed. I will do this side and then I will do the other side off camera, and I will get those laid out. And then the next thing I'll do is find a border punch. I do have a collection of secondhand border punches I've gotten either from garage sales or off Facebook Marketplace. And I like this one because it cuts both sides. It's not just a straight on one end. So it's kind of braided looking. So I'm going to use that to kind of cover the top of the fringe. And you're just going to see me. And I really, these border punches are super easy to use. You just line them up. Sometimes I'll sneak a peek at the bottom so that I make sure I'm not leaving like a space in between. Um, Sometimes if I do leave a space in between, it's very easy to go back over it and match it up and get that completed. So I will go off camera and get the other side done, and then I will come back, and I do believe I trim off. See, it's the top is too big. And here's kind of a public service announcement. I cut this a little bit too short, not paying attention to what I was doing. And so I have two pieces, not a big deal at all. Totally easy to get that down on the page. Just line it up. It's fringe. It's all good. And I thought I'll be a little bit more careful on the side and make it longer, but I want them both the same size. So I'm gonna just measure to see how wide it is, and I will do the other side just the same. And I don't think it really fell apart. It's thin, but it's all one piece. So I will go and lay those down, and I just run some, I believe it's ATG along the top there. I want to be able to give it a little bit of texture and dimension and kind of, I don't want to say rough up those fringes, but make it look like it's not perfect there. And you'll see that in a moment. I'm just kind of lining things up. I don't glue the background page down right away. You'll see that. I'll start trying to get the border down, and then I have to remember to glue that background page paper down. But I'm just kind of getting everything lined up here. And then I'll start pulling out embellishments and seeing what I want to go where. And these are all Vicki Boutin items, which is a favorite of mine, kind of my go-to. But these work out just perfectly for this layout. So I've got a fun drink like Jillian's holding in her hand. I've got these great palm leaves that match the paper. There's sunglasses like Nick and Jillian are wearing. I've got some sun there, which you'll find in Florida. And then I'm using this boba type drink there too, and that just it's because it's just a fun page. So I'll glue down my pictures with the ATG adhesive. And in case you're new here, I do use Tape Jungle, and they do good deals throughout the year. You can get a case for um, relatively inexpensive. I I don't know that you need a case. I was getting smaller amounts and they did a really good sale, so I got a case which will last me a couple of years. Oops, and that's where I figure out the background was not adhered down. So get things stuck all over where it shouldn't be. I'm gonna get that down and then I'll get the fringe over the top. And that fringe, this is just so cute. It was so easy to do. And you know, it wouldn't just, it reminds me of a grass skirt, but you didn't, it does not just have to be a grass skirt. It could have, you know, been on a different layout for a fun party banner in purple or pink or whatever other color. Black would look fun too, even. And I'll get those borders up there, and then I'm gonna fix my clusters. And I want a journaling spot for this, and first I think, this is a good spot to use this postcard. They're on vacation, but it just seems really big, and I didn't want it to take up all that space. So I find this cute little tag from the collection, and I'll just get that laid down there. And then go ahead and lay the palm leaf as well as the sunglasses, and there we go. And the fun drink. So that will be the right side. And then I'll move over to the left side. So I have to get all that adhered down as well. I'm going to match up the papers so that I can get the border matching up as well. Make sure you check out the link below and go to the Stick It Down Facebook group, join there, and then try a version, either whether it's the 2-page layout sketch or the 1-page layout sketch or the card sketch. Put that into the album and for your chance to be chosen as guest designer for next month. You can see that this was a pretty quick and easy layout. It came together quickly, but it gives a big impact just with a little bit of embellishments with that fun frame. Um, Taking those bigger photos and trimming them not only into circles but into those fun squares as well. That big layout that says today, that's a fun piece that that adds to the layout on the left-hand side there. The rest of the month, I will be participating in Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, where we take a pin from our Pinterest board and we use it. And the fun thing about this year is that we have a prompt for each day. So there's different ones like sketch or mood board, what's in your cup, texture. There is a free day that you could pick whatever you want, things like that. So I'll be watching for that. I am working on June photos from last year, so trying to get caught up with my 2023 album. I am just going to add some splatters onto this page, and that will do it then for me today. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a fabulous day, and please come back and see me again soon.